Welcome to Election Night 2020. Today we have the incumbent president, Donald Trump, with his vice president for 3 years, Mike Pence, versus Dwayne Johnson, the actor and professional wrestler, with his running mate, Joe Donnelly. Here's a 7 o'clock p.m. poll closing. The state of Kentucky has been projected for Donald Trump. South Carolina, 9 electoral votes will be projected now to go to Donald Trump. Vermont, 3 electoral votes projected for The Rock. Virginia, 13 electoral votes. We have now gotten word that Virginia, after all the votes are counted, will be going to The Rock. Indiana, 11 electoral votes at stake. Joe Donnelly and Mike Pence's home state. Joe Donnelly, the running mate for The Rock, and Indiana Governor Mike Pence's home state. They are fighting for these 11 electoral votes, but Dwayne Johnson has a 2% lead. The state of Georgia, 16 electoral votes, too close to call, 6,000 vote lead for The Rock. Here's the electoral count: 17 electoral votes for Trump, 16 for The Rock. Only 1 electoral vote separates the two. Here's a 7:30 p.m. poll closing. State of West Virginia, 5 electoral votes now projected for Donald Trump. Ohio, 18 electoral votes at stake, too close to call. Dwayne Johnson has a 9-point lead. Sorry, a 7-point lead. North Carolina, 15 electoral votes, too close to call. Dwayne Johnson once again has a 7-point lead. Here's the electoral count: 22 electoral votes to the state of West Virginia, just added to Donald Trump's electoral vote counted. 22 electoral votes for Donald Trump to 16 for The Rock. Here's an 8 p.m. poll closing. The state of Tennessee, 11 electoral votes for Donald Trump now. Alabama's 9 electoral votes, 9 electoral votes for Donald Trump. Mississippi, 6 electoral votes will now be projected for Donald Trump. Oklahoma, 7 electoral votes will be projected for Donald Trump. While Illinois, 20 electoral votes will go to The Rock, along with Pennsylvania, Maine, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, Maryland, Delaware, and the District of Columbia. All of them will go to The Rock, totaling for over 50 electoral votes. 29 electoral votes from Florida is too close to call. Donald Trump is behind The Rock. The Rock has a 13-point lead. 14% of the vote is in. Missouri's 10 electoral votes, 13% in. 18,000 votes separate the two. Dwayne Johnson has a 13-point lead. New Hampshire's 4 electoral votes, 9% in. There's a 1,000 vote lead. Donald Trump has a 1% lead. Here's the electoral count bar chart: 112 electoral votes for The Rock, 55 for Donald Trump. And here's a national vote: 49% for Donald Trump to 47 for The Rock. Here's the 8:30 p.m. poll closings. In the one new state of Arkansas, Arkansas's 6 electoral votes will now be projected for Donald Trump. The one new state of Arkansas has been added to Trump's column: 61 electoral votes for Donald Trump, 112 for The Rock. Now we can project Missouri, a flip from 2016. 10 electoral votes will go to The Rock. Here's the electoral count: 122 electoral votes for The Rock, 61 for Trump. Here's the 9 o'clock p.m. poll closing. State of Louisiana, 8 electoral votes for Donald Trump, 38, a big prize from Texas, 38 electoral votes going to Donald Trump. The Democrats had hoped they would flip this state, but it has just been projected for Donald Trump. Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota, along with North Dakota, 17 electoral votes in total going to Donald Trump, and Wyoming, another 3 electoral votes going to Donald Trump. Arizona, 11 electoral votes going to Donald Trump. This state was a much later projection, last in 2016. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, doing much worse with the Hispanic population. But Michigan, a flip, and will go to Dwayne Johnson, and New York going to Dwayne Johnson, 29 electoral votes. New Mexico, 5 electoral votes, and Colorado, 9 electoral votes will go to the Rock. Nebraska's one of their electoral votes will go to the Rock. Minnesota's 10 electoral votes will go to the Rock. Much earlier call. 15 electoral votes will now be projected to go to the Rock from North Carolina, along with Florida's 29 electoral votes will go to the Rock. New Hampshire's 4 electoral votes will now be projected for the Rock. Indiana's 11 electoral votes, a huge flip from 2016. Joe Donnelly was a major help in this state. Joe Donnelly campaigning hard for the Rock in this state, flipping the state from Governor Pence and President Trump. And Ohio's 18 electoral votes has now been projected for the Rock. No Republican has ever won the White House without this state, and this state has now gone for the Rock. This is a huge setback for the president. Wisconsin, 10 electoral votes, 11% in, 4,000 vote difference, 41% of the vote has gone to the Rock, 33% has gone to Donald Trump. Here's the electoral map, 269 electoral votes, 1 electoral vote away from being elected President The Rock. To Donald Trump's 137. Donald Trump needs to win every single state left on the map to win this, to deadlock this election and tie this election. And the House of Representatives will vote, and he will most likely get in because the House of Representatives has been held by the Republicans, but will not be soon because the Democrats are leading currently in the House. Here's a national vote, 66% in. The Rock has a 14-point lead on Donald Trump. In the national vote, he has 67 million votes to Donald Trump's 43 million. Here's the 10 p.m. poll closings. We can now project that the presidency of the United States has been projected to go to The Rock. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson will be elected the 46th president of the United States due to this call. The state of Nevada, 6 electoral votes, has put The Rock over the top 270 electoral votes. 6 electoral votes for the Rock. Wisconsin's 10 electoral votes will go to The Rock, along with Georgia, another flip, along with Wisconsin's 16 electoral votes going to The Rock. Utah's 6 electoral votes will go to Donald Trump, along with Montana's 3 electoral votes. Iowa's 6 electoral votes, too close to call. Trump has a 3,000 vote lead. Here's the electoral bar chart. 301 electoral votes, surpassing the number 270 electoral votes. 301 electoral votes for The Rock, 146 for Donald Trump. Here's the national vote. No changes to the national vote. 57% of the vote has gone to The Rock, to 43 to Donald Trump. Here's a 11 o'clock p.m. poll closing. California, huge projection for The Rock, 55 electoral votes for him. Washington, 12 electoral votes. Hawaii's 4 electoral votes. And Oregon's 7 electoral votes will now be projected to go to The Rock, 33 electoral votes in total for The Rock. Iowa, 6 electoral votes for The Rock. And Idaho's 4 electoral votes will now go to Donald Trump. Not like it matters anymore, because Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has been elected president of the United States. 385 electoral votes for The Rock, 150 for Trump. Here's a 1 a.m. poll closing. One new state of Alaska. Alaska's 3 electoral votes has been projected to go to Donald Trump. Here's the electoral bar chart. 385 for The Rock, 153 for Trump. Here's the national vote. 98% in, 60% of the vote has gone to The Rock, 40% for Trump. The Rock has 70 million votes to Trump's 49 million. Here's one last look at the electoral bar chart. 385 electoral votes for The Rock to 153 for Trump. Thank you all for watching. Hope you liked this video. My next video, I'm actually not sure what my next video is. I completely forgot what my next video is. But thank you all for watching anyway, and I'll see you later. Goodbye. No, it's not goodbye yet, because my next video will be Andrew Cuomo versus Donald Trump. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you later now. Goodbye.